Welcome to another episode of last week's comics. Today I've got a fairly short stack, and this is not everything that I got this week, but I think I'll address that later. So we're going to start with Kill Your Darlings issue 3. I very much enjoyed issue... Can't tell what that is. I very much enjoyed issue 1. Issue 2 introduced some confusion because there was a time skip, and suddenly she, who had been a small girl in issue 1, was now several years older. Her friend showed up, and he showed up, Ella Pig, he calls himself, and I was unclear if he could also see this guy or if she was the only one. So that's addressed almost immediately, but we get this. This is how it starts, and I think issue 2 involved Salem witch being burned, and then this is happening, and like, holy shit. So I don't quite understand what the historical stuff is yet, but these two wind up going to where her house used to be. Her house burned down at the end of issue 1, and they flip over. This is, I think, amazing. So the magical door that used to be in her bedroom is now inside of a stand-in Blockbuster video. I love this 2-page spread. That's awesome. So these two, well, all three of them really, but these two wind up in the magical world, and we find out what has been happening because she hasn't been there for 8 years, I believe. And it's not good. So outside of town is kind of black and white, and there's this river of color, and we find out kind of what's happening there, and not good things happen, but this is great, and I'm loving it, and I recommend it because it's awesome. But also, I really want to see what else is going on. It's very much enticing. I grabbed a couple of first issues this week, and I didn't really enjoy either one of them. I had high hopes, and they were pretty disappointing. The first of those is Mortal Terror issue 1. This is Christopher Golden. I've generally enjoyed his Hellboy stuff. I don't remember if I've read any of his other stuff, but this is a flipped vampire story. So in this, vampires are the predominant species, and humans are somewhat considered a myth. There's a lot of talk about humans, about, well, mortals specifically, and their mythical status by people that know that they're not myths, so it's very strange. And I don't fully understand it. So in this, vampires still have the same sun weakness, and there's something involving biting, but one of the mortals tells a vampire, well, just let me bite you and you'll find out. And I'm like, what is that supposed to do? So, I don't understand. Like, I had a hard time concentrating on the story because I kept wondering, like, what any of it was supposed to mean. I'm like, how? What? Why? So I wasn't intrigued. The story didn't capture me, and I won't be getting the rest of the series. And I don't get it. I don't understand it, and I don't necessarily really want to. The other one was The Holy Roller, which I was looking forward to. Most of the time, like Remender, I'm a big fan of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I mean, just look at this cover. But this doesn't happen until the final pages, and the suit doesn't even exist yet. But let me just skip ahead to this. And this is, I skimmed it because I didn't really tolerate reading all of this. It's there might be a grain of truth in here, but it's mostly embellished, I believe, for comedic effect. And it's talking about, in here, equal parts action and humor. And I'll just continue. So, a special introductory issue with 42 full pages of story. Well, 42 pages of non-action and humor. It's not funny, I don't think, and there's not action until the final 6 pages, maybe. everything up until then is bullying. It's midlife crisis slacker dude who returns home to have family drama with his father before leaving again, and then it's just like, it's essentially 42 wasted pages. Because if you're trying to sell it on humor and action, then you should include humor and action in the first issue, which this does not. And I'm really saddened that this was not better than it is. Black Hammer, the end seems to be a bit on a roller coaster. Maybe just that there are pits and valleys. Pits and valleys? Hills and valleys? It's better. So issue 3 had picked up the pace. Issue 2 slowed things down. Issue 4 now also slows things down. They start a confrontation with Anti-God, so that's Anti-God there in the background. There has been a team gathering throughout the series thus far, and they go up against Anti-God, and some other people show up, and none of it goes well. Also, there's drama on the farm, and that also slows things down. Like, this series has 2 issues left, and it's... I think I'll get there. I just don't see how... Like, it really needs to pick up the pace, because things need to happen, and they aren't thus far. I'm still with it. I trust Lemire, knows what he's doing. It will read much better as a trade. It's just, this is not one of the better issues of the series. World's Finest, issue 21. This cover is almost what happens. He is in that suit. He is not in that suit. And the way to tell the 2 Supermen apart is one of them gets punched. Well, so he's got some torn clothes right there, and you can tell clothes intact versus torn clothes is how you can tell the 2 Supermen apart. And initially, because it's been a month and my memory is Swiss cheese, initially I thought this was our Bruce, not the Kingdom Come Bruce, but this is the Kingdom Come Bruce in the Kingdom Come outfit, because apparently Mongol wrecked everything else. So that's why that's happening. But still dealing with Boy Thunder, or David, now calling himself Thunder Man, I believe. That name gets dropped a couple of times this issue, and I don't know, did they call him that before, or is this the start of it? And in this, Superman is acting a little weird. There's a point that I had to look at a couple of times, because this one right here, so I'm like, was there setup for this? I'm just as confused as he is by that. They reference it again. Batman makes a comment, so I think it's all being set up for something. Just, I'm not sure what. Something Kingdom Come universe related. But let me show you this. So this is how it ends. We get this thing, which leads to this. But curiously, that is happening. I don't like that at all. Also, I still want a Magog action figure, Mr. Todd McFarlane, so I know you're watching this. But this is how it really ends, and there's a lot to look at here. My question, though, is there are non-flyers that seem to be falling out of the sky, and I don't understand that. Most of this I can make sense out of. I don't... This, like, dog bat thing is pretty cool. And I like Supergirl in pants, and I think this is Cyborg Jonah Hex. I don't know what a T-Rex is doing there, but this is just, I think, super interesting. Including, I take this as a Mandalorian Peacemaker, because Mando Peacemaker. Anyway, that's how it ends, and the storyline, this story arc is still going in the February solicits, and like, I kind of just want it to be over. The first few arcs of the World's Finest series I thought were better paced, and now we've gotten to Kingdom Come, and I kind of just want it to move on. It also makes me want to reread Kingdom Come, which I think one of these days I'm going to wind up doing again, but I don't know. I just want this to go somewhere, and it doesn't seem to be going anywhere quickly enough. Operation Sunshine issue 2. This actually came out the week before, but I requested cover B. This is the James Herron cover, which I love. This is amazing. Issue 2 of this is pretty different from issue 1. Issue 1 was a lot of character setup. It was sort of world building, specifically for these two. This guy shows up at the end, and this issue is sort of his show. It's a lot of exposition. There's a bit of history, but it's sort of what he wants, and the mission I think that they're about to go on. It's a real swerve from the first issue. Anyway, this is also heavy vampires. It's, I guess, a vampire time of year. And it's interesting. I don't know whether or not it's good, but I will continue with it and see where it goes. I'm curious, but I can't tell whether or not it's good. It's not a great sign. Not quite lastly, but there is Somna. This is by Lotte and Clunin, and this is a distillery book, so it's obviously much larger than standard comic. There are many breasts in this, also hands on and down pants. So let me safely find a page that we can look at. I think I'll save Dan a heart attack if I just stick with these next couple of pages. So here is a very nice 2-page spread of a witch burning. It's lovely. And here is Lotte. So the two, I don't know if they break down writing duty. I think they're both, story and art. So they're both writing, they're both doing art. There's a main character. This main character named Ingrid, and she, when she's awake, she's drawn by Clunin. When she is asleep, she's drawn by Lotte. And there's something strange going on in her dreams. She's seeing a man. A man is talking to her, and he's trying to influence her. And while she's awake, her husband is the local bailiff. He found this witch, and this is the execution. This is where he's at while she's at home this particular day. So he winds up leaving town, and I don't think anything good is going to happen, because I feel like when he returns to town, I think she's going to be accused of being a witch. But she's talking in her sleep, talking to this person, and she's making noises that don't please her husband, and it's all very interesting. I'm curious to see where this goes. This is getting pick of the week because everything else is kind of middling, but I don't know how many issues this is intended to be, but I'm definitely adding this to my pull list. And if you are curious and you can handle sexual situations, then go ahead and grab it. If not, don't. There's a lot in here. So I also grabbed Prism issue 2 because I loved the art, even though the story was an absolute mess. I don't have many books coming out next week, so I'm just going to save this until then because this is already more than a week old at this point. Also, my wife got me 14 of the 19 Dragon Ball Super manga, so I'm going to start reading these, but there's a few that are missing. I think I have up through 9, and then after that I'm missing 5 books, so I could at least get started. But I kept reading about things that had happened in the series after the anime stopped, or is on hiatus, or whatever's happening, and I wanted to be more current than I currently am. So I'm going to start reading Dragon Ball Super manga. But this is everything that I got this week. Somna, I already said, is my pick of the week. Kill Your Darlings is a runner-up. As always, I get all my books from a local comic shop. If you don't know where yours is, you can use this URL to find the one closest to you. Thanks for watching.